Welcome to a midweek Wednesday show. Had lunch today with a good friend who also happens to be a professional soccer player. Now, for those of you who know me a little bit about my background, included with the teaching, years of coaching competitive soccer kids all the way from 7-year-olds up to the best of what Southern California had to offer at an 18-year-old age bracket. Kids that were on their way to becoming part of the Olympic team for the United States. So, quite the spectrum. He is the one out of thousands of kids that I've coached in the past to make it to the professional level. So that just gives you an idea of how difficult it is to make it to that level. Now, the relevance really comes with this question. Are you parenting a gifted athlete? And if you were, would you know? Here's a couple of things to look for. Things that I noticed right away about this kid when he was only 10 was the first time that he came to me. If you would have asked me now in retrospect, of the kids that you coach, which ones do you think would have made it to professional level? He would have been in a very select group of maybe a handful of kids. Okay? And even then, he was the only one. So here's what I noticed about him. Number one, a natural ability to play the game. Didn't have much ability to play anything else. You go on the basketball court, couldn't shoot a basket to save his life, but he could probably put the ball in the basket with his foot. So a natural ability to control the ball, move with it in a very fluid way, almost as though he came out of the womb with a soccer ball, that kind of ability. Number two, and a relentless passion for this game. If you were to walk into his bedroom, walls were covered with posters, soccer pros, Europe, everywhere. Okay, soccer was what he loved to do. He was the kind of kid who his mom would have to tell him, stop kicking things around the house. You know, anything that was a round shape, whether it was the stuffed animal, it was the ball, it was, his sister who happened to have you. But the idea being that he never wanted to put the ball away. So a relentless passion for the sport, I think, is the other key indicator. Now, a couple of things that you might not have thought of, all right? Kids that are truly gifted, have a true passion for their sport, those are the kids that you don't have to ask them, where's your equipment when it's time for practice? They have it, they're ready to go. They may lose a couple of things here and there, but for the most part, they are ready to go and practice time is there. Okay? They know when the games are, they're excited about being there. And everybody, has their down points, but for the most part, they are up when it comes to competition time. So that's something, again, I think to look for, because when kids start to make excuses as to why they can't go to practice, or they're tired, or they can't find their equipment, that's a sign to you folks they're not into it. Okay, and it's time to move on. And that's my real encouragement to you, because as much as it could be a real plus to be parenting a gifted athlete, you have to be very wary of when kids are not at that level and not to push them, okay, beyond the level of enjoyment for them. Because in the long run, really, what's the payoff? What are you hoping to gain? But for kids that have true ability, true passion for a sport like that, then it's finding opportunities, and that's exactly what his dad did. Now, he played for me, was 10, 11 years old, but it got to a point where he outgrew the team that we were on, and he needed to move elsewhere, and that was a great move for him. At the time, I'm sad to lose him, but in the bigger picture, he needed to move on, and his dad was always looking for those opportunities. Again, not pushing, but just on the lookout for where would be a great opportunity for him to continue to develop his skill, looking for a great coach who was going to continue to add to that. So, long story short, went on to play for a national group of players for the United States. Went on to UCLA, became an All-American, played for the Galaxy in the MLS League, went on to play for Sydney, Australia, FC Sydney, their top club there. So, professional soccer player. It can be done, but for one in a great many. Anyway, had a wonderful lunch with them. Wanted to bring him on the show, but you know how it gets. Always wanted to ask people to come to the show. It gets a little uncomfortable after a while. But great kid, now at the mere age of 25. So, good luck to him. Good luck to you. Have a wonderful end of your Wednesday. Take care.